Alright, so I'm going to install the rocker arms and the push rods. I'm taking these 7.55 inch length push rods that Texas Speed says should be the right size. Placing them both down. Applying a little pressure, make sure the lifter is on the base of the camshaft. Taking the rocker arm bolts. Now if you're utilizing ported cylinder heads, you have to put some type of sealant. I'm using black RTV sealant. However, I'm not going to use them right now. After I fire up the engine and figure out what is the proper push rod length, I will. Because on ported heads, on the on the intake sides, the hole will lead down into the intake chamber and it will create a vacuum and pull oil through if you do not use some type of sealant. So I'm going to use black RTV sealant. Okay, I installed the rocker arms on the #1 cylinder. I torqued them to 22 foot-pounds. Now I'm going to check to make sure that there is no piston to valve contact by turning the motor over by hand. Go slow in this process. Okay, you can see that the exhaust valve is starting to go down and open. Coming back up. And now the intake will start to go down. There you see it. So far, no contact. And voila. So we have no piston to valve contact. I'll do it a couple more times and I'll actually install all the rockers and the push rods, torque them all down, and then I will spin the motor over once again once I have them all in to make sure. Okay, so we have no contact. Alright, so let me do the rest and I'll be back. Alright guys, it's also a good idea never to install or remove your rocker arms while there is tension on the springs. So go through the firing order. Remember that chart I showed you on my phone. And as you go down the cylinders, make sure you turn the engine so that each piston is in the top dead center firing order. So this way there's no pressure on the valve springs. Just a little tip for you. Alright, I'll be back. I forgot to mention, I had said earlier, but I put the assembly lube at the top and the bottom of the push rod, and I put some assembly lube at the top of the valve stems. Don't forget to do that, thank you. I had forgotten to mention earlier when I was mentioning that Texas Speed believes the reason why I'm getting 7.6 inch length push rod, that I was pushing, you can't really see the lifters, but if you put a push rod down into one of these holes and you push down on it, I cannot compress the lifter at all. So according to Texas Speed, at that point they believe that the plunger is all the way down. I don't. I think the plunger is all the way up. And the reason why they're not compressing is because they're filled with oil from the factory. Now I called John Calley's Inc. And I spoke with them and they said that yes, they are primed and filled with oil, and you will not be able to compress them by hand. You will actually need, you know, the motor to be spinning and turning over to compress them for the plunger to go down to bleed out the original braking oil that they use. So I don't know who's right or who's wrong. I'm not blaming them. This is hot rodding. Nothing goes according to plan. So we'll just see. I think in the end it'll be 7.6, but I could be wrong. You know, they've built more motors than me. I don't doubt that, and they have more experience and better machinery and training and all that. You know, I'm just some guy doing this in my garage. But that's that. All right, so let me get back. I'll talk to you guys later.